All right, the end of free speech continues, as we're about to talk about here, because the U.S. Justice Department launches an investigation of the University of California under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And as we're going to get into, it's based on anti Semitic claims and reports. And I'm gonna bury the lead for a second. I just want to talk about why I find this silly and ridiculous. To a point, it's not that, as we'll get into, we're going to go over some of the actual reports of anti-Semitism because I want to give this a fair shake. But the reason why you're going to see me take kind of a hostile stance to this, it's not because I'm against cracking down on actual anti-Semitism. You know, we're going to read, there's a report that there was an anti-Israel camp that was blocking Jewish students from getting to the campus. If that was actually happening, then absolutely crack down on it. But the reason why I take issue is because he is undermining so many other groups that he does not like. Mainly trans people, just the LGBTQ community in general. But he's taken away a lot of, he literally signed an executive order abolishing the Equal Employment Opportunity Act. Okay, like why? Why? And then, he ends a bunch of DEI stuff. We're not going to get into DEI right now, but he took an axe to DEI. And I will say there's a lot of good things about DEI. If you don't believe me, do the research. Are there bad things? Of course. Are there small instances of, what do they call it? Reverse discrimination or whatever? Absolutely. But does that make up most of DEI? No. But like most issues, they blow it up. So my point here is they are ending protections for groups they don't like. Mainly trans. It's mainly been trans, between just declaring male and female, ending gender, affirming care. Like it's just sending a clear, removing the T from LGBTQ on government websites. Like you're just sending a clear message, like, yeah, we hate you. We don't care about your rights. We don't care about you. Like, shut the fuck up and move on. And then he turns around and launches an entire task force on anti-Semitism and also an anti-Christian bias task force. Like, if there's all this stuff out there and there's actually concrete things, absolutely crack down on them. But my issue here is, why don't you protect any group, every group that is being, targeted for whatever reason? Black people, trans, gay, whatever. Go look at the statistics on how much hate they get compared to even anti-Semitism. Like, if I was president, I would protect all groups. I wouldn't end DEI, end the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, and do all this other stuff. I can't wrap my head around the reasons most of the time because it's always changing. And then it just doesn't make sense. I can't wrap my head around it. I just protect all groups. If you can bring cases to me of anti-Semitism on the rise and actual Jewish students being targeted, of course I would do something about it. As the same I would for trans people, black people, Mexicans, Venezuelans, whatever, gay people, lesbians. I don't care. If you can prove to me that a group is being targeted, I will do my best to help that group. You can't just pick groups you like Christians and Jewish people. It's not even really about Jewish people. It's about Zionists. It's annoying, okay? Be consistent and protect everyone. Don't pick and choose what groups you want to defend, okay? And anti-Christian bias. Come on, man. The country's what? Like 90% Christian, if not more? Like, Jesus. Or some form. Like, just give me a break. The Federal Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism announced that the Justice Department has opened a civil pattern or practice investigation into the University of California under the Title VII Civil Rights Act of 1964. The investigation will assess whether UC has engaged in a pattern or practice of discrimination based on race, religion, and national origin against its professors, staff, and other employees by allowing an anti-Semitic, hostile work environment to exist on its campus. The Department of Justice will always defend Jewish Americans, protect civil rights, and leverage our response to eradicate institutional anti-Semitism in our nation's universities. So you're creating DEI for Jewish people and Christians. Okay? This is the exact same wording that, Democrats would use back when they cared about these groups for the, we want to protect the civil rights of black people, of gay people, whatever. You can't pick and choose, all right? My God, could you imagine if I'm not going to get into it. I've been blabbing too much. Our country has witnessed a disturbing rise of anti-Semitism at educational institutions in California and nationwide, said Acting Associate Attorney General and Department of Justice Chief of Staff Chad Mizzelli. The Department of Justice is committed to upholding Title VII of the Civil Rights Act and protecting Jewish Americans as we investigate the potential pattern of discrimination. Leading task force member and senior counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Leo Terrell, said following the October 7, 2023 Hamas terror attacks in Israel, there has been an outbreak of anti-Semitic incidents at leading institutions of higher education in America, including at my own alma mater at the UCLA campus of UC. The impact upon UC students has been the subject of considerable media attention and multiple federal investigations. But these campuses are also workplaces, and the Jewish faculty, staff, and employed there deserve a working environment free of anti-Semitic hostility and hate. The president, the attorney, I'm out of breath. The president, the attorney general, and the task force are committed to combating anti-Semitism for all Jewish Americans. This is the same shit Democrats said about black people. We want to combat racism and make sure that these people are being treated fairly and have equal opportunity. And you call them woke. I can't. This is Republican wokeness. The employment discrimination investigation will be conducted pursuant to the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, religion. Under Title VII, the Justice Department has the authority to initiate investigations against state and local government employers where it has reason to believe that a pattern or practice of employment discrimination exists. This was the entire point of everything Democrats did with DEI, okay? You're just making your own DEI for Jewish people. Come on, man. Collaboration between the Justice Department and the other federal agencies plays an important role in combating anti-Semitism in schools and college campuses. The department coordinates with other federal agencies as a part of the multi-agency task force to combat anti-Semitism, as well as when sharing enforcement jurisdiction with other agencies. For state and local governments and related entities like nurses. I'm still on my last topic. Like public universities, the Department of Justice shares enforcement authority under Title VII with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Trump revoked that. Am I crazy? So, I'm confused. Is this still a commission that exists? But Trump revoked the executive order on the whole Equal Employment Opportunity Act. Am I crazy? But they still have the commission, but they're only going to use it for Someone explain this to me, please. I'm actually ignorant on this. Oh, geez. Okay. So, I asked ChatGPT. U.S. Justice Department launches investigation of University of California under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. What is the basis of this investigation? Where did this stem from? What evidence are they going off? The U.S. Department of Justice has initiated a civil rights investigation into the University of California system under Title VII of the... Yeah, we already know that. Yeah, so we read that. Basis. The investigation stems from a series of anti-Semitic incidents reported across various UC campuses, particularly following October 7, 2023, Hamas attack on Israel. These events led to heightened tensions in numerous pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses nationwide, including those within the UC systems. Reports indicate that these protests sometimes escalated into anti-Semitic acts, contributing to a potentially hostile environment for Jewish or Israeli employees. So let's talk about that. This is also another way to crack down on colleges that allow pro-Palestinian protests, aka anti-genocide protests, because this is a bipartisan agreement too, because Democrats and Republicans both hate pro-Palestinian people because we have the whole government's owned by AIPAC. But anyways, that's besides the point. This is another way to crack down on these kind of protests because they'll just revoke your funding. I've already said that. Trump just said something recently about how like there's almost like any protest we can like lock you up for. Like, this is crazy. Like, these dudes don't give two shits about free speech. Okay? They don't. And where's this same kind of energy to like Nazi rallies and these Nazi protests we've seen pop up here and there? Nothing. They don't care. In response to these concerns, the DOJ's Federal Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism announced the investigation to assess whether the UC system failed to prevent anti-Semitic discrimination. So, yeah, they're making sure they're following that. But, you know, if you are doing any sort of DEI, which this is a part of DEI, it's just your own sick version of it. I can't. Evidence considered anti-Semitic acts on campuses. There have been numerous reports of anti-Semitic incidents on UC campuses, such as harassment and discrimination against Jewish students and staff, rising tensions following the October 2023 attacks, saw an increase, and we'll get more into those numbers in a second. I wanted to get some details on the reports. So following the October 7th attack, there was a 2,000% increase in its incidents across California's campus compared to the period in the previous year. Hostile campus environments at UCLA, Jewish students and staff reported harassment threats and assaults amid rising pro-Palestinian protests. Incidents included swastikas on chalkboards and derogatory signs, contributing to a pervasive sense of insecurity among Jewish community members. A lot of that gets overblown, and it's so annoying. I'm not saying that's not completely awful, but I hate when they'll take one idiot, the one actual pro-Hamas dude in the crowd that fucking puts some sort of like pro-Hamas like symbol or whatever, and then both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, will just condemn the entire protest and call them all pro-Hamas. Insane. Legal actions and federal oversight. In response to these incidents, Jewish students at UCLA filed lawsuits alleging discrimination and inadequate protection from the university. Federal judge issued a preliminary injunction against UCLA for allowing an anti-Israel encampment that blocked Jewish students' access to the campus. I'm not drunk, I swear. I'm just high. Yeah, so if this one's true, absolutely that should not be allowed to happen if it's true. But I fear a lot of this gets misrepresented. You'll have one instance of something and then they'll condemn thousands as pro-Hamas when all these people are just trying to say, hey, civilians in Gaza they're being genocided right now. Fuel, water, food, it's all been cut off. If you look at a before and after of the city, it's completely leveled. Like 83% of the buildings are destroyed. So, but no, Democrats and Republicans both look at that and be like, yeah, Israel. Oh my. So this one says there was a 3,000 spike nationally of anti-Semitism. So maybe I haven't dug into this enough, but it doesn't seem like there's a ton of actual concrete reports. Or like actual instances of proof. It just sounds like reports. I could be ignorant on that, but my whole point of this unnecessarily long video was protect all groups who are being attacked for one reason or another. You should protect them, just like we were trying to do until you took an axe to the Equal Employment Opportunity Act and any DEI program that existed. to then turn around and form your own version, but for groups you like Christians and Jewish people. So it's insane. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.